What's up, everybody? I'm Stella Chung, and this is the Weekly Fix, the show where we round up all the gaming and entertainment headlines you may have missed this week. Xbox has announced a brand new Elite controller at an affordable price, and Keanu Reeves is returning to Night City in the upcoming Cyberpunk 2077 DLC. In the entertainment world, Hulu's Hellraiser film gets some teaser images, and Netflix is creating a cheaper subscription tier. Keep on doing you, and let's jump right into it.
Microsoft is introducing a brand new, significantly cheaper version of its popular Xbox Elite Series 2 controller today. The Xbox Elite Wireless Controller Series 2 Core is a two-toned controller, kind of looks like an Oreo, with matte black grips and a primarily white body. Retailing at $129.99, the Elite 2 Core is more competitively priced when compared to the standard Elite 2 controller, which costs $179.99. However, that cheaper price tag also comes with some caveats. The main ones include the lack of a carrying case, paddles, extra thumbsticks, and a standard D-pad. Fortunately, there is an option to buy the additional parts that are included in the standard Elite controller separately. Microsoft confirmed in a press release that it will sell a new complete component pack, which includes the carrying case, charging dock, additional thumbsticks, a USB-C cable, and a standard D-pad for just $59.99. So basically, if you own an Xbox and you've wanted to jump in on the higher end controller options available on those systems, but you also want to save a few bucks, or maybe you're not super interested in all the bells and whistles that usually come with the Elite 2, this is a great opportunity for you. Personally, I love playing games with my Elite 2, but I don't think I've ever used the charging case like more than once, except for like the first day. So this Elite Series Core probably would have been the smarter play for me and my wallet, which is constantly feeling the pinch. Microsoft also confirmed that it would bring the Elite 2 controller to the Xbox Design Lab sometime this holiday season, marking the first time an Xbox Elite Series controller will be available in the Xbox Design Lab since the customization program launched back in 2016. Now, if you can't wait for that, the Elite Series Core controller launches on September 21st with pre-orders available now. And it does kind of look like an Oreo cookie, doesn't it? Look at it, what a little cutie. Speaking of next-gen hardware redesign, Sony just quietly redesigned the interior of its popular PS5 console, meaning consumers who purchase a PS5 now will actually own a slightly different piece of hardware than people who already bought one, or at least on the inside. On the outside, it will still look identical to the PS5 you all come to know by now, whether you love it or hate it. Sony has redesigned the PS5 specifically to make it more energy efficient. As reported by The Verge, YouTube user Austin Evans took apart the redesigned console and found that Sony had made some fairly significant changes inside of it. Despite not being a rebranded update akin to something like the PS4 Slim, Sony has updated the PS5's internal roughly once a year to make the machine more energy efficient and presumably cheaper to produce, which is an interesting flex considering they just raised the price of the PS5 by $50 in many territories. The updated model's motherboard has been reduced in size by about 2 inches, which is, I hated the size of that motherboard, I'm so glad it's smaller. The cooling has been changed through an additional heat pipe at the back of the console, and a smaller heatsink and the SSD enclosure has also been changed slightly. Though Sony may have other reasons for updating the console, Evans claimed in his video that the new PS5 uses around 20 to 30 fewer watts while gaming and is therefore the most energy efficient version of the console so far. That's the buzzword version. You don't have to say it like that. If you like to tinker with your video game hardware, this redesign might alter your plans to look under the hood of your PS5 and swap around some parts, so be sure to plan accordingly. Actually, plan accordingly no matter what you do in there. If you're gonna open up a hot $550 console and just start taking stuff out, be smart about it. And finally, on top of updating its hardware, Sony has also announced that it's updating the PS5 firmware today. The new update includes a 1440p monitor support, game lists, and a new social feature that will be available globally today, September 7th. Announced in a PlayStation blog post, Sony's Vice President of Platform Experience, Hideaki Nishino, said that these highly requested features, first confirmed to be on the way in July, will finally be fully released today. The blog post also revealed that Sony is testing other new features, including the ability to do voice search for YouTube videos from anywhere on the PS5 console. It's also adding new features to the PlayStation app, including the ability to launch a remote play session straight from your phone and the option to request that friends share their screens. The 1440p support is particularly important for PC players who have been requesting the feature since the console was released, especially as its competitor, the Xbox Series X, has supported 1440p since launch. Don't fight in the comments about that. Be adults. The resolution can be changed in the PS5 system settings by proceeding to video output resolution and finally to 1440p. That update is available right now, so power on your PS5 and check it out. And that
we finally have details on a new Edge Runner update coming today for Cyberpunk 2077 and a teaser for the first long-awaited expansion, which is officially called Phantom Liberty. During CD Projekt Red's Night City Wire livestream this morning, we got details on the upcoming Edge Runner update, adding new cosmetics, wardrobe features, weapons, cyberware, and more. The update is coming to Cyberpunk 2077 today, with developers noting that this will be the last major update for last-gen console versions. Aside from the usual bug fixes and fine-tuning you'd expect in a patch, there is plenty of new stuff to check out. Players can use a new feature in their apartments to dress their V however they want, without their wardrobe choices affecting their stats. There's also now a preview feature to try on clothes in shops before you buy. Preem. In addition, players can obtain David Martinez's jacket from the upcoming Netflix anime, Cyberpunk Edge Runner. If your V needs a full makeover, you can head to any Ripper Doc and try out some new hairstyles and looks. If you're more interested in gameplay than cosmetics, you can drop by Wakako's Pachinko Parlor to play their new game, Roach Race. Where's Geralt? There's Geralt. Haha. Outside of the game, two big additions are cross progression, which allows cloud saves across multiple devices, and Red Mod, which allows players to use and create custom mods for Cyberpunk 2077. The really big news, however, is about the first major DLC story expansion, which is titled Phantom Liberty. A new teaser trailer dropped during the livestream that showcases Cyberpunk 2077's protagonist, V, taking a pledge of allegiance to the new United States of America, with everything going to real fast. And yes, Keanu Reeves will be returning as Johnny Silverhead. Game director Gabriel Amantangello says to expect a new style of plot, a new cast of characters, and an expanded focus on a particular district in Night City. We'll keep you posted on Phantom Liberty as soon as we hear more. And if you want the full breakdown of what's in today's update, the patch notes are up on the Cyberpunk 2077 site. In other exciting news, Naughty Dog may have teased its next unannounced game inside the recently released The Last of Us Part 1. In a Twitter post by Naughty Dog Central, screenshots of in-game footage show what looks to be characters in a fantasy setting with the Naughty Dog logo nestled beneath. This also isn't the first time for the game studio to tease its next IP within a game. Back in 2011, Naughty Dog added an Easter egg of The Last of Us in Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception, which didn't go completely unnoticed, but fans didn't pick up on what it was referring to until much later. Considering Neil Druckmann has confirmed he is creating a new IP, this would not be too far-fetched, but what do you think the photos allude to? Let me know in the comments. And finally, if you're looking to spruce up your PlayStation 5 console, well, a new collection of accessories is coming this fall. Announced in a PlayStation blog, Vice President of Brand Hardware and Peripherals Isabel Tomates released the new Cosmo-inspired gray camouflage collection that will feature accessories for the DualSense wireless controller, both PlayStation 5 disc and digital consoles, and Pulse 3D wireless headsets. If this skin strikes your fancy, you'll be able to pre-order it starting September 15th, with a global launch for the DualSense wireless controller and PlayStation 5 covers coming October 14th, exclusively on the PlayStation Shop. The Pulse 3D wireless headsets will launch in December. A new update is coming to Halo Infinite, but sadly, a fan favorite feature is being scrapped: local co-op. It's not all bad news though. Developer 343 announced the winter update arrives on November 8th and will include the long-awaited Halo Infinite Forge, the latest iteration of the level editor that lets players create and share custom maps. There will also be 2 new multiplayer maps showcasing Forge's new features. This is technically only the public beta for Forge, so more features may be added later. The winter update will also finally see the full version of the online campaign co-op, which includes new achievements, cross-platform support, mission replay, shared progression, narrative events, weapons, and so much more. But yeah, that's great and all, but plenty of fans are upset over the cancellation of split-screen co-op mode, something that had been promised since, well, Halo 5 Guardians. 343 Industries' reasoning for the cancellation was, quote, in order to improve and accelerate ongoing live service development and to better address player feedback and quality of live updates, we have reallocated studio resources and are no longer working on local campaign split-screen co-op. Though the winter update includes plenty of new stuff, a lot of fans are questioning the decision to put a classic feature out to pasture. Maybe they'll cheer up when the winter update drops on November 8th, but we'll have to see. But how do you guys feel about this news? Let me know in the comments. Moving on, keeping up a long-running tradition for the series, a new Assassin's Creed game has been revealed by way of a leak. Assassin's Creed fan site The Codex Network shared leaked artwork it spotted on Ubisoft's own storefront of a new assassin wearing the series' iconic white robes. The assassin appears to be Basim from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which coincides with previous rumors he would be the protagonist of an expansion-turned-standalone game. Rather than try to plug the leak, Ubisoft spilled the beans on the official AC account, announcing that the next game was titled Assassin's Creed Mirage. Nothing else is confirmed, but Ubisoft stated more details would be revealed in the next Ubisoft Forward showcase, which is scheduled for September 10th at 3 p.m. Pacific. After a leaked logo made its rounds earlier this week, Microsoft has finally unveiled details for their upcoming Xbox Game Pass Friends and Family plan. The new plan will allow subscribers to share their subscription with up to 4 other friends or family members, gaining them the same benefits of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which includes cloud streaming and a rotation of curated games. Though we don't have a US pricing yet, it is estimated to be roughly $10 more than the current Xbox Game Pass Ultimate plan, and will also allow users to share the cost among multiple people. So you're looking at around $24.99, which is about $5 a person if you split the bill 5 ways. In addition, Xbox released details on how the servers would work and how current subscribers who change their current plan will be converted over. Depending on which plan a user is enrolled in, subscription will convert to a different number of days for the new Friends and Family plan. For instance, 30 days of an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate would transfer into 18 days of Xbox Friends and Family, while 30 days of Xbox Live Gold only converts to 12 days. Microsoft also confirmed that users can only be a member of one group at a time, and that group members can only join a group up to 2 times per year. Currently, the plan is being tested in Ireland and Colombia, but details will be revealed soon when the subscriptions will come to the United States, UK, and Europe. Moving on, we are finally getting more details on not only Cyberpunk 2077, but the upcoming Netflix anime Cyberpunk Edge Runner, with a video teasing a potential crossover. In a post on the official Cyberpunk 2077 Twitter account, a teaser video announced a special episode of Night City Wire, hinting at a reveal of what's on the horizon for Cyberpunk 2077. It looks like the new show may also receive some in-game love, as the teaser shows 2077's main character V wearing Edge Runner protagonist David Martinez's jacket. It's likely that 2077 will see additional missions or in-game stories that tie into Edge Runner. We won't have to wait too long, as Night City Wire livestream will take place on September 6th at 8 a.m. Pacific time.
It's time to take a quick break. When we come back, James Gunn revealed he pitched a movie based off the Hitman series, and we take a look at new teaser images for the upcoming Hellraiser film. See you in a bit. Welcome back. Netflix is back in the news, and this time they're announcing a new, cheaper subscription tier with ads. But before that, Pinhead and the Cenobites return in teaser images for the upcoming Hellraiser movie. Let's take a look.
Hulu's Hellraiser premieres on October 7th, but before we get this new reimagining of Pinhead and his demonic minions, we get our first clear look at the new Pinhead and a brand new Cenobite. Now, in these images obtained exclusively by Entertainment Weekly, we see actor Jamie Clayton's portrayal of Pinhead retaining some of the same beats as Doug Bradley's depiction from the Clive Barker series of films. And according to director David Bruckner, on the approach to this new look of Pinhead in comparison, he said, quote, "What Doug Bradley did with the character character is so iconic. We didn't want to do a Doug Bradley impression. We just didn't think that's possible to do. There will be suffering, but you're going to get a sense of what Pinhead's desires might be in a way that hits a little different. Now, EW also showed this exclusive image of a new Cenobite referred to as the Mask. Pokehead! No, not that mask. Now, possibly given the name due to its face appearing to be stretched over a metal wire. Now, Bruckner assured that there will be plenty of new Cenobites in the movie, and on the Mask specifically, quote, "The Mask is one of my favorite Cenobites, and it's just a tease of really what's to come as far as the Cenobites are concerned." And for anyone wondering, the legendary Clive Barker has been heavily involved in this reimagining of Hellraiser, serving as one of the film's producers. Now that's good news for longtime fans of the franchise. Now let's just wait and see how the hell it all plays out when Hellraiser premieres on Hulu October 7th. Now, in other news, Rick and Morty showrunner assures fans that the award-winning adult animated series will seemingly never come to an end. Now, in an interview with Inverse, both Martyr and producer James Siciliano revealed their vision for season 6 and that they're already working on the next 2 seasons of Rick and Morty, each in various stages of development. Siciliano said, quote, "I don't know how much we could talk about, but as far as the production, we have season 6 coming out and season 7 in production. We have the writer's room for season 8 going, so that's about 20 episodes in some form of production and the new season that we're breaking." And Martyr followed up by saying, quote, "I've created a high-class problem for us, but we'll have a season of the show every year from this point forward." So there you have it. Let's just hold him to it. Now let's also hope that the series will remain refreshing and retain its comedic relevancy, because sometimes the longer an adult animated show goes on, it tends to lose its steam at some point. I mean, just look at Family Guy and The Simpsons. Actually, when was the last time you looked at either of those shows? Exactly. Let's hope Rick and Morty doesn't become stale. Netflix is in a race to outdo Disney Plus by moving up its timeline to debut its cheaper ad-supported plan for subscribers. Now, as opposed to dropping this new subscription tier in early 2023 as initially planned, Netflix is looking at November 1st to get it out the streaming door before Disney Plus's December 8th launch of its very own ad-supported service. Now, Netflix is working with its ad partner Microsoft to get advertisers and ad buyers locked in on negotiated prices by September 30th to meet its November 1st launch date. The pricing for the cheaper ad-supported tier is still up in the air, reportedly looking to be around $7 to $9 a month. Now, how do y'all feel about this? I personally hate ads unless there's some personal gain on my end, like on my YouTube channel. Then, in which case, I encourage subscribers to watch ads. But you know what? It's different when it comes to streaming platforms such as Hulu, Netflix, etc. The last thing I want when I'm binge watching something is for an ad to just randomly pop up. Like, sure, it's cheaper, but it could be annoying, and it's the main reason why I upgraded to Hulu's ad-free tier. Because, the amount of ads that would pop up during my 600-pound life began to weigh heavy on me. Pun intended. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this new ad-supported tier coming to Netflix and Disney Plus? Are you gonna downgrade to get it? Comment and let's discuss. Now, in other news, Aquaman 2 star Yahya Abdul-Mateen II called out his work in the DCEU movie, saying it was nothing but clown work in comparison to his other more serious roles. And while speaking with Vulture, the actor said, quote, "Everything should be about getting to the truth, but sometimes you gotta know which movie or genre you're in. Something like Aquaman, that's clown work. Aquaman is not the trial of the Chicago 7. You have got to get over yourself." Well, damn. Well, at least he's being honest. I mean, he could have just been brutally honest, but he clearly held back as he still gotta promote the upcoming superhero movie. And to add a little sugar sweetener to his comments, Mateen posted this image of him in a clown nose as he doubled down on his lighthearted comments. Honestly, you love to see an actor with a sense of humor.
Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad director James Gunn revealed on Twitter that weeks before he got hired by Marvel Studios, he pitched a movie adaptation of the Hitman video games. This news surfaced after a fan tweeted at Gunn asking if there were any video game franchises he thought would make an awesome film in light of the news that Netflix is adapting BioShock. Gunn replied via quote tweet saying, "Weeks before I got Guardians, I pitched a Hitman movie. The studio really wanted to hire me, but a producer on the project did not. I was bummed then, but thank God, because I would have never been able to do Guardians of the Galaxy if they had said yes." Hitman got its first movie adaptation back in 2007, starring Timothy Olyphant as the eponymous chrome-domed Agent 47. The film was a commercial success, but currently sits at a measly 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. Plans for a reboot were announced back in 2013, and it seems like this is the project that Gunn was pitching for. The reboot eventually moved ahead without him, or Timothy Olyphant, and was released as Hitman Agent 47 in 2015, which performed worse on a higher budget and had an even more dismal critical reception, which currently has an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is bad even by video game movie standards. It's hard to say if it would have fared any better with Gunn at the wheel, but I think we can all agree that Guardians wouldn't have been the same without him. I could definitely see Gunn nailing the blend of violence and dark humor in the Hitman games, but that could be applied to plenty of video game adaptations. What video game would you like to see James Gunn tackle if that is in fact a possibility in the future? Let me know in the comments below. In other Marvel news, Rosario Dawson has expressed interest in returning to Hell's Kitchen when Daredevil gets his first post-Netflix solo series with the 2024 Disney Plus show Born Again. Dawson's character Claire Temple appeared throughout the Netflix Marvel shows and was given something of an ambiguous final appearance. Speaking to The Hollywood Reporter, Dawson lamented this, stating, quote, "You don't even see her in that last tell Claire to go home moment on Luke Cage, so what is that? You know, it's terrible," adding that she'd be super curious to see what happens to her character next. Dawson was excited to see her former co-stars Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio return to the MCU and enthusiastically offered to join them, saying, quote, 18 episodes Daredevil Born Again, I am there. Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, they know where I am. Rosario Dawson is currently at work on the Disney Plus standalone Ahsoka Tano Star Wars series, but considering that Daredevil Born Again doesn't premiere until spring 2024, there's probably time to figure something out. And finally, WB Discovery is once again in search of somebody to oversee its DC movies and shows after failing to make a deal with the leading potential candidate, Dan Lin. CNBC reports that the two parties reached an impasse over Lin's production company Rideback, which Lin allegedly wanted to keep going with WB Discovery owning an equity stake in, but they couldn't come to an agreement about compensation. The role has repeatedly been referred to as DC's Kevin Feige, referring to the Marvel Studios president. In the wake of the WB Discovery merger, plans are underway to reset the DC movie slate, which is a pretty major undertaking. Lin seemed like a solid candidate due to an existing relationship with WB Discovery, producing the Lego movies, but it looks like the role is still open. Man, if there's one thing I love about superhero movies, it's hearing about the complicated business proceedings that go on behind the scenes to make them happen. Who do you think should play Lobo? I think Dave Bautista could pull it off. Sound off in the comments with literally anything more interesting to talk about than inconclusive corporate contract negotiations.
Riot Games broke a record this weekend as they won a Creative Arts Emmy Award as the first streaming exclusive show that has ever won the Outstanding Animated Program Award. Arcane, the show focusing on League of Legends characters and lore, was nominated specifically for the 6th episode of Season 1, where Jinx had a standoff with the Firelights. The official Arcane Twitter tweeted, "Honored doesn't even begin to describe how we feel about winning the Emmy for Outstanding Animated Program. Thank you to our incredible team at Riot Games and Fortiche, the @Television Academy, and the greatest fans, yes you, for making this possible." Arcane was up against Bob's Burgers, Rick and Morty, Marvel's What If, and The Simpsons, but beat them out for the coveted award. This is a huge step for the gaming industry, and honestly, I really hope this means that Respawn will seriously consider making a Titanfall or Apex-focused lore show as well. But in the meantime, the second season of Arcane has been confirmed to be in the works, though we don't have an official release date yet. In the playoffs leading to the League of Legends World Championship, Evil Geniuses has been performing incredibly well against their competition. EG's Impact became the second ever top laner to earn a pentakill in LCS history in the series against Team Liquid. Impact scored the 5-kill achievement in Game 4 and now sits behind Honey, who has 2 pentakills in LCS pentakill history. This was Impact's first pentakill in the LCS, and it showed EG's impeccable teamwork and support that they were able to combine to make this happen. Evil Geniuses also did end up beating out Team Liquid in the playoffs leading up to the 2022 World Championship. The end overall score was 3-2, and it was very close, but EG was able to secure their final match victory with a score difference of 11-6. Congratulations to Evil Geniuses, and we can't wait to see what you pull off next in the LCS. Valorant VCT Champions Tournament had a bit of a rough start on day 5 as some positive COVID tests broke up a few teams. Team Liquid and Edward Gaming were facing off for a last chance qualifiers for the 2022 season. Team Liquid qualified for VCT Champions after taking down M3C in the EMEA LCQ, while China's Edward Gaming is the first team ever to compete in an international Valorant tournament. EDG did a great job of holding their own in the tournament, but they were unfortunately hit by a positive COVID test on their teammate Life. EDG were unable to have their full roster on stage with them, but they did get Life to play from his hotel room. Though EDG was able to rally and win the first opening match against Team Liquid was able to come back and take the win 2-0. As a new team, EDG has a lot of potential, and it'll be really great to see them come back in the future. As for Team Liquid, they're now going to face off against Paper Rex to see who will go to the playoffs. I'm Stella Chung, and that was your Weekly Fix. We'll be back here next Saturday with more of the biggest gaming and entertainment news of the week. See you then.